Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Welcome to the Six Bugle Podcast. I'm your host, Rudy Ruiz. We just finished our second Six Bugle conference in La Crosse, Wisconsin, and we had a fantastic event. We also had a fantastic event here in Perrysburg, Ohio, and it was just a great experience for everyone that attended. We had some great responses, great feedback. Everybody's looking forward to coming back next year. We had some fantastic speakers, and I was fortunate enough to be a guest on the Leading Edge with host Jeff Smith from WTOL. He is the anchor there here in Toledo, and he was one of our speakers in the Perrysburg event, and he went over very well. He talked about commanding the room. We talked about communications being so important, and everybody loved him. He did a great job, and he loved what we were doing, what we were trying to do with the Six Bugle and helping the administrative assistants and the fire service throughout the country. And he thought it was he was so impressed by it. He invited me to be a guest on his show, The Leading Edge, and that's what I want to show you now. So. Without further ado, here is the video that we recorded on The Leading Edge.
Welcome back. Our next guest recently retired from a career in the safety services, and he recognized that people behind the scenes were so vital to a successful operation. They deserved continuing education to make those operations even better. So glad to have Rudy Ruiz with me here on the show this week. So good to see you, first and foremost. Familiar face, former fire chief out in Perrysburg.
Right.
So I want to talk a little bit about the event that took place this past week. I was honored to be a part of it, but give our viewers a little bit of I guess, cliff notes on what we had.
Yes, absolutely. So what we wanted to do is we wanted to provide something for the administrative assistants or executive assistants throughout the country. And
a leadership conference.
Yes, absolutely. So what we wanted to do was provide them with education on physical health, mental health, emotional health, those types of things. So because they're the ones who always fill other people's cups, right? They support us, the fire chiefs, firefighters, and back home. So we wanted to make sure that they had all the tools necessary, and also to help them physically so that they can be more effective, not just at work, but also at home.
The official name of the program is the Sixth Bugle.
Yeah, the Sixth Bugle. And that goes to the fire service. The way we identify the officers is by bugle, or what we know as speaking trumpets.
Okay.
So lieutenant is 1, captain is 2, and so forth. The fire chief is 5. So we always thought the administrative assistant is the one next up. So that's why we call it the Sixth Bugle.
Let's talk a little bit about what they were able to take away from this, because the one conversation you and I had was you wanted to be able to deliver, right, and be able to give them things that they could take back. It's called a leadership conference. Right. So you're asking them to take the ball and really create a better situation for their operation.
Right, and that's not normally what they do. But
and what kind of positions did they represent, by the way?
It's usually the administrative assistant is for the fire chief in a variety of departments, fire departments throughout the country.
Okay.
We also have police chief administrative assistants attend, so we're starting to branch out there. But what we wanted to make sure was that we let them know that we appreciate them. We appreciate the things that they do for the organization, for the community. So we wanted to make sure that they got the tools that they needed, not just for their own job to be more efficient and effective, but to be a healthier person. That's why we talked about, we invited doctors in to talk about your physical health, talk about how to use food, culinary food, as to replace medicine. We talked about some individuals that came, like yourself, to talk about the importance of communication, to stand tall, to command the room, to learn and lead.
Listen,
right?
learn, and lead.
Listen, learn, and lead.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that was fantastic. They absolutely loved that.
Yeah, and we saw it. That was a takeaway from a lot of the notes that came back.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we also bring in Christy Hansler, who talks about emotional IQ. So the reason why that's valuable is because she's gone through a tremendous amount of adversity throughout her life. So she mentions that, right? She becomes exposed and she says, this is what I did and this is how I overcame. And the fascinating part is when you watch the audience kind of absorb that, they feel more comfortable in sharing their experiences, their adversity. So to watch that happen live is just a phenomenal effect. So that brings them out, that brings them more comfortable, and they share their, and you could actually see the pain kind of lifted from them. That's what this is all about. So ultimately, it's about not just helping yourself, helping them to become better, effective administrative assistants, but be better people, right? So that they can help themselves.
Well, and like you said, carry it back with them. So let's move the ball forward. Are you doing more of these? How do people, if you've got administrative assistants who are sitting out there in the fire safety services and they say, this is such a good idea for my program, and they haven't taken part yet, how do they get involved?
So we only do one a year for Ohio. But the beauty of it is we had some folks from Wisconsin come in last year, and they said, can you do this for us? Absolutely. So we're going to Wisconsin in a couple of weeks to do it all over again for the entire state.
I can't travel there, but
I was going to ask. But I thought, well, you did your part, and it was very good. But we are bringing in people from all over the country, from New Hampshire, from Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, Ohio, even as far away as Georgia. So this is a big thing, Jeff, and they're absolutely loving it. So, we promote it by word of mouth. We don't do anything other than that. And word seems to get around, and people absolutely love it.
Well, I know they took away quite a bit, and it was well done, and 2.5 days of great information. And like I said, you get CE out of the shop, and all of a sudden you got that fire in your belly too.
Right.
Not a pun intended there, but obviously it gets you fired up to get back and help out.
Yeah, and the fire chiefs love it too. They want to be a part of it too. So we created a podcast, and they come in and talk about the wonders of their executive assistants, and they tell us stories about how they benefit the organization and the community, and it's just fantastic. It's become a community in and of itself.
Good to see you.
Thank you, sir.
Continued good luck. We'll be back right after this. Well, thank you so much for spending part of your day with us, and we sure hope to see you next time here on Leading Edge.
So we will be posting pictures and comments on our Facebook page here shortly, and we'll be providing new content. We'll also be having new guests for the rest of this year, fire chiefs from around the country to talk about their administrative assistants, and maybe even an attendee or two to talk about how effective this conference was for them and what they took back out of it. So we look forward to that. And we thank you for joining us here on the Six Bugle Podcast. Take care.